One thing I should point out though, because I don't think I did, the thing that made me, among more than anything else, want to play rugby league was watching Jeff Robinson play in the 1980 game. He was a second rower for Canterbury and Bankstown, and he looked like they'd shaved an ape. Long black hair, a long black beard, and he just looked like an absolute wild man, and he played the game the same. And I'm watching him, that's what I remember.
What position did you play?
Well, as I said, I was taking after Jeff Robinson and I played in the second row. But I also, from time to time, filled in the front row and also in the lock. Which basically means that when the scrum is packed, you've got your front row, your second row, and your locks at the back of the scrum. So I fitted in anywhere in the forward pack.
So you were pretty much, I guess, what they call these days a utility player.
I was a utility player in the sense that I could play most positions in the forwards, but I did have the preferred position of second row.
Now, why did you stop playing?
Well, basically the reason I stopped playing was due to injury. And just recently signed a contract to play for Canterbury Bankstown. So my adolescent dreams have been fulfilled. But when I signed my contract with Canterbury, they said, this is it, you play for Canterbury, you don't play for anyone else. And then I was like, I don't have to play for the old Wanderers anymore, which I'm still playing for the moment, or my high school side. And stupidly I decided that one more game would be done. And in that game, I was tackled and dislocated both my legs, and haven't been able to play rugby league.
How do you feel about that?
I was gutted. Absolutely gutted at the time.
Imagine you would be.
My contract with Canterbury was torn up because I'd broken the terms of the contract. Any best and fairest awards on my jerseys from school, any kind of rugby league paraphernalia that I'd acquired over my 12 years of playing, because I was 17 by the time I got injured, I threw out, much to my dismay now, because I'll never get them back. And yeah, basically absolutely gutted. And I spent the last, what I'm at now, 32, so the last 15 years trying to find something to replace football that I could have the same sort of passion for.
So we all know now that we met the RSL club.
Yep.
Over the years that I've known you, you've had a few different jobs.
Yes.
Currently you're working at another club, but you did other work in between that. You worked for a real estate agent.
Yes.
You were selling phones to two different companies.
Guilty.
Tell me, what is the place you've loved the most? What was your favourite job to this day?
Well, prior to meeting you, I'd also worked in stockbroking. I glanced at accounting, but found I had far too much personality for it. And at the time I met you, I was actually studying to be a teacher. I was going to teach English and drama. But I've got to say, the most
forgotten about that.
The most fun I had in any work environment, I have to say, was probably Liverpool RSL Club.
Yeah, it was like
During the early days. Towards the end, the screws got tightened a bit and it lost some of its fun.
Yeah.
But the early years of Liverpool RSL Club are some of the best memories I've got I carry with me to this day.
I must admit, I preferred the days where I worked with the RSL as a casual before I became permanent and then a supervisor.
Yeah.
Once I had responsibility, I found it harder to distinguish the line between mates and boss.
Yeah.
No, I didn't always like that. when I first started the RSL, we used to have a great time. We used to, work in the nightclub and, we'd have a drink while we were working and end up quite pissed, really.
Three sheets to the wind.
Yeah, there were very few of us that could get away with it, and I was one of them. The boss loved me. Now, tell me, what do you please, what do you want to do in the future?
Well,
Actually, let's start off with your immediate plan. How are you enjoying working at Northern Sports Club, and do you think you'll stay there?
for the most part, I'm enjoying it at the moment. My long-term plan, as far as it's concerned, is uncertain. I'll stay there as long as I enjoy the work. But for my long-term career plans, I've actually just recently begun an education course in the music industry. I'm looking towards music production and also event management. So maybe if you want to do another tour, give me a call. I'll only take 10% too, not the 20% that most other places take. It's all good. Maybe just that's why I said it. That's it. Thanks, Ed, for the wardrobe, by the way. Looking forward to moving towards the music industry. It's something that I've had a passion for. Some of my earliest memories are walking around my grandmother's house when I was just a little kid during school holidays, listening to 2CH and singing along to Frank Sinatra and Tony Bennett. And then, music has always been a constant source of inspiration.
Mark has got one of the most diverse musical tastes I've ever seen in my life. I've often sat in his car and he'll have an Ella Fitzgerald CD on. The next time it'll be some even more obscure band, maybe The Cure, U2.
The Pogues.
Yeah, the Pogues. You don't get more fucked up than that, do you?
I like to say I go everywhere from Beethoven to the Beastie Boys.
Fair enough. Alright, let's take a break.